Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learn with Dr. Khizar. This is the part 11 video of income from capital gains. In this video, we are going to start with the problems on income from capital gains. Till the previous 10 videos, we tried to understand the theoretical aspects of income from capital gains. Now in this we are going to discuss about the problems. So coming here for the first problem. So before starting, just let me tell you that there are two types of capital gains: short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. So in the problem we need to identify what is the information given, whether it is pertaining to calculation of long term or whether it is pertaining to calculation of short term capital gains. So without wasting much of our time, let us start the first problem. So the problem here states that from the following particulars of Mr. Ranga, compute his taxable capital gain for the assessment year 2019-20. So clearly they have mentioned you need to calculate or compute the taxable capital gain for the assessment year 2019 and 20. Date of purchase of house property is given. So they have purchased the house property here on 1st December 1998. Cost of acquisition is given 2 lakhs. Cost of acquisition is the purchase value of this house property. How much is the cost of purchase of house property? So they purchased this property in the year 1998 for rupees 2 lakhs. Cost of addition in 2000 rupees 50,000. So after 2-3 years, so they have made the cost of addition, means alteration or improvement they have made, for which they have spent 50,000 rupees. Fair market value as on 1st April 2001 is 3 lakhs. So fair market value always will be for the year 2001 for the assessment year 2019-20. So this you need to remember. Always the fair market value will be on this date. Cost of addition in 2004-5, so it is 60,000. Again in the year 2004-5 they have made some improvement or alteration of the property. Sale proceeds in 2018-19 rupees 35 lakhs. So they have sold this house in the year 2018-19 for rupees 35 lakhs. Now remember here 2018-19 is our previous year and 2019-20 is our assessment year. Then they have given CII, that is cost inflation index, for 2001-2, 2004-5 and 2018-19. For 3 years they have given the cost inflation index. So let us start this problem. So who is the assessee here? Assessee is Mr. Ranga. And because in the question nothing is given about his residential status, so we will write as assumed to be resident. Then our previous year is 2018-19 and assessment year is 2019-20. So format remains the same as usual, particulars and amount. So now what is the asset purchased? The asset purchased is house property, right? So here you will write house property. Okay. Now let us find what type of capital asset it is, whether it is long-term capital asset or short-term capital asset. Now for identifying this, whether it is long-term or short-term capital asset, hope you remember 3 different types of assets. The first category of asset is financial assets. The second category of asset is depreciable assets, and the third category of assets are Other assets. Financial assets are those which deal in the financial products or financial instruments. Depreciable assets are those which can be depreciated and whose written down value is given. And other assets, apart from this two, any other type of asset will be considered as other asset. So the rule says that house property given in the question will fall under the category other assets. It is not a financial asset, it is not a depreciable asset, because written down value of this house property is not given, so it is a other asset. The rule for other assets says that if the asset is with the assessee for less than a period of 3 years, then it will be short-term capital asset. If the assessee holds the asset for more than 3 years, then it will be long-term capital asset. How the duration we have to identify? We need to compare the date of purchase of asset and we need to compare the date of sale of asset. If it is more than 3 years, then we need to consider it as a long-term capital asset. If it is less than 3 years, then it is short-term capital asset. Hope this is clarified. Now in the question they have given date of purchase of house property 1/12/1998. So he purchased the house property in 1998, right? And when did he sell the house? He sold the house property in 2018-19. Means it is more than 20 years. Okay, it is more than 3 years. So this is a long-term capital asset. So we need to apply the format of long-term capital gain. So here coming back to our answer. So here we have written as house property long-term capital asset. LTCA is nothing but long-term capital asset. The date of purchase till date of sale. So now we came to know it is a long-term capital asset. We need to apply the format of long-term capital asset. So the format starts like this. Gross sale consideration means what is the value for which the asset was sold. It is clearly given in the question. The asset was sold for rupees 35 lakhs, right? So here we will write gross sale consideration as 35 lakhs. With this you are going to subtract realization expenses. As we discussed, realization expenses are those which are incurred to sell the particular asset, that is considered as realization asset. So here in the question we did not find any realization asset, so it will be considered as nil. So you need to minus gross sale consideration with realization expenses. You will get the answer as net sale consideration. Okay, right? Then with this you are going to minus indexed cost of acquisition. So what is indexed cost of acquisition? This will be applied only if the asset is long term in nature. So the formula for indexed cost of acquisition is cost of acquisition divided by cost inflation index of the year of purchase of asset multiplied by cost inflation index of the previous year in which the asset is sold. Now let us see what is the cost of acquisition. The cost of acquisition is 2 lakhs. Now before starting this, just as we discussed that the purchase date is to 1998, that is before 2001. In this case you need to calculate the revised cost of acquisition. So here I have done this. You can see the formula here. Revised cost of acquisition, that is indexed cost of acquisition, equals revised cost of acquisition divided by cost inflation index of year of acquisition multiplied by cost inflation index of previous year. Now we need to identify first what is our revised cost of acquisition, because in the question they have not given revised cost of acquisition, they have given only the cost of acquisition. To find out the revised cost of acquisition, you need to adopt a technique. What is that technique? you need to compare cost of acquisition with fair market value as on 1st April 2001. Whichever is highest among these two, you are going to consider that as revised cost of acquisition. So to consider here, cost of acquisition is 2 lakh rupees. If you see in the question, it is 2 lakh rupees cost of acquisition, right? And fair market value as on 1st April 2001 is 3 lakh rupees. So which is high here? 3 lakh rupees is higher. So revised cost of acquisition will also be considered as 3 lakhs. Okay. So where are these things in the question? If you see, cost of acquisition is given 2 lakhs and fair market value as on 1st April 2001 is given 3 lakh. Now you came to know what is your revised cost of acquisition. So your revised cost of acquisition is rupees 3 lakh, because here the cost of acquisition is less and fair market value is more. Whichever is highest, we have to consider that. Divided by cost inflation index of year of acquisition. When did the asset purchase? In 1998. But as you people know that the cost inflation index will always start from 2001. Okay. So before that there is no cost inflation index, okay, for the previous year 2018-19. So you need to consider 2001 onwards. Now in our case, the asset is purchased in 1998. So there is no cost of index cost of acquisition, that is cost inflation index for that particular year. So what we need to do is we need to consider the cost inflation index of 1st April 2001. So on 1st April 2001, the cost inflation index as per the chart is 100, right? So you saw here it is 100. Where is that? Yeah, see here, for 2001 and 2, cost inflation index for 2001 and 2 is 100, and for our previous year it is 280. Remember these two dates, right? So here cost inflation index of year of acquisition, because it is acquired in 1998, so there is no cost inflation index for 1998. So which cost inflation index we need to take? We need to take the cost inflation index of fair market value year, that is 100, and multiplied by cost inflation index of previous year. So previous year is 2018-19, we saw it is 280. So 3 lakhs divided by 100 into 280, if you do, you will get indexed cost of acquisition as 8,40,000. That you are going to take here. Indexed cost of acquisition 8,40,000. Fine. Then again, what items you have to minus as per the format of long-term capital asset or long-term capital gain? Again, with net sale consideration, you will minus indexed cost of acquisition. Again, you will minus the indexed cost of improvement. So indexed cost of improvement in the question they have given 2 times. If you notice here, cost of addition is nothing but indexed cost of improvement. So indexing is not given here, just they have given cost of addition in 2000 is 50,000 and cost of addition in 2004 and 5 is 60,000. Now if you have remembered the rule which we discussed in the previous videos, that is, you just see the previous video, okay. So here additions, anything which is made before 2001, okay, that is our fair market value here. Before that, any additions are made, any improvements are made, any alterations are made, that we are not going to consider. It should be ignored completely. Okay, though here 50,000 is spent, I am not going to consider this. Okay, because as per rule, before 2001, any cost of additions, any cost of improvements made should not be considered. Then coming to next addition, that is the cost of addition in the year 2004-5, it was 60,000. Now here we need to calculate indexing of that, because there in the question they have given just cost of addition. Now we need to calculate the indexing of that, for which the formula is here. So indexed cost of improvement equals cost of improvement divided by cost inflation index of the year of improvement multiplied by cost inflation index of the previous year. The formula is as same as your indexed cost of acquisition. There you are going to take cost of acquisition, here you are going to take cost of improvement. So what is the cost of improvement in 2004-5? It is given as 60,000 divided by cost inflation index of the year of improvement. So when did this 60,000 spent? In 2004-5 for improvement. So if you see the indexing for 2004-5, so you can see here it is 113. So that you are going to take here. 60,000 is cost of improvement divided by, in this year 2004-5 it was made, the CII for this year is 113 multiplied by cost inflation index of the previous year. So in the previous year the cost inflation index is 280. If you see here, our previous year is 2018-19, the cost inflation index is 280. So if you substitute this formula, 60,000 divided by 113 into 280, you will get 1,48,673. So you got your indexed cost of improvement also. So we did not take one improvement in the year 2000 because any improvement before 2001, that is our fair market value year, should be ignored. After that, any number of improvements made, all should be considered. Fine. Hope this is clear for you. So now you got 1,48,673. Now with net sale consideration, I think this color is not good. Just 1 second you give me. Yeah. So with the net sale consideration, which you got 35 lakhs. How you got net sale consideration? Gross sale consideration minus realization expense, you got net sale consideration. With this you are going to subtract indexed cost of acquisition, indexed cost of improvement. Indexed cost of acquisition you got 8,40,000. Indexed cost of improvement you got 1,48,673. So if you minus this 2 with net sale consideration, you are going to get gross capital gain. You are going to get gross capital gain. Okay. So 35 lakhs minus 8,45,000. Just let me calculate and show you people. 35 lakhs minus 8,40,000 minus 1,48,673. So if you minus all this, you will get 25,11,327. So this is your gross capital gain. With this you are going to subtract the exemptions. As per the question, no information is given on exemption, so we will put nil. Okay, so the final answer is taxable long-term capital gain, that is your 25,11,327 rupees. Hope you have understood. This is the first problem. Practice well, you will understand. So here nothing as such major adjustment is calculating indexed cost of acquisition, calculating indexed cost of improvement. Okay. Hope this is you have understood it. If not, see the video once again. Slowly you will understand in further problems also. Thank you so much for watching this video, and subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you can get all the notifications whenever I upload the video. And also, if you like this, kindly hit the like button so that I will keep myself motivated and make more videos of this subject as well as other subject, and in general also about interviews and corporate skills. And also kindly stay tuned with this channel. Thank you very much.